2004 Ford F-250 or 350. Anyways, it's got the 6.0. Who cares, right?
Who cares?
It's a Ford with a 6.0. So anyways, it's got a long crank time. Well, it doesn't even start. Just does that. And if you do a full system scan, god damn glare. Gosh darn glare.
Can you turn the brightness up?
There we go. Injector control pressure, circuit, sensor circuit, range performance, ICP too low, engine cranking. This is where we're going to have issues at. So we're going to pull up live data next. All right, now we're going to watch the live data here. So what I'm looking for is the FICM's got to be 48 volts. Your injector control pressure desired, it's going to want, it's minimum 500 for it to open the injectors electronically. So desired, it can probably go to 800 or 900, and it needs to match it. It needs to get above 500 for the injectors to open. Injector control pressure regulator, if it goes to 84, 85%, that's duty cycle. That means it's all the way open, commanding it all the way open, which you don't want to see at a crank or a start, right? So if it was, that means it's trying to build up all of its oil pressure because there's possibly a leak or H-pop, high pressure oil pump. So I'm going to crank it now. Watch the graph. 48 volts. That's good. It went to 84, 85%, which is bad. It wants 1154 and it's only 258. So if you saw that, it needs to get above 500 psi for the computer to electronically open the injectors so the fuel can atomize, because it's using a high pressure oil pump or H-pop behind the injectors. So I'm going to do now is I'm going to graph these just to show you in a graph. Get this graph set up so it's easier to see. We'll go 0 to 1500. All right, so now the green is what it wants, and the blue is what's at. So it wants the green way up on top, and the blue is where it's at. But it needs to be right in here, which is 500. If it doesn't get to that, it's never going to start. It needs to be above 500 psi. So moving forward on this, what's probably happening is it could be a standpipe or a dummy plug leaking under the valve cover. So there's a test. I may or may not show in this video. I'll show you kind of where it's at. It's either that or a high pressure oil pump having issues building pressure, or sometimes the ICP injector control pressure sensor can have issues. It's usually 0 to 5 volts, 5 volt bias voltage, a signal ground, and a return, or a return ground and a signal. But we believe that's working good because we saw it on the scope there, or on the graphing part of the auto, that it's reading correctly. Like I said on the other ones I've seen, that you know, if it's, for example, if it's colder out, it may start. Or they're saying this truck, though, post start it because it's a manual, you can have faster RPM, so you're going to build up more pressure to get above 500. Or another one I did, it was when the morning was really cold, it actually ran better, so it got warmer because the oil viscosity is thicker. So I'll show you what tests I would want to do next. All right, so here's the injector pressure sensor. I would pop that out. I have a kit you put in there, and you apply air to it. And there's a manifold assembly under that valve cover, and the valve cover under there. That's where the high pressure oil comes from, the high pressure oil pump, which is under the turbo on these 6.0s. If it's leaking, it's never going to build up pressure, whether it's a dummy plug or standpipe. So we're going to check that next. I don't know if I showed in this video or not, or it'll be another video. That's what I would do. Also the H-pop, high pressure oil pump, depending on what we find. If we find a leak, we're going, pull these valve covers off. If we don't find a leak, we'll look at the H-pop and go from there.